So I grabbed my phone and started a brand on Instagram, which I called We Are Stoa. Around 2 months after uploading my first reel, that brand already reached 500,000 followers. I uploaded 23 videos that failed miserably, but my 24th video actually blew up and gained 8.9 million views. Of those 8.9 million views, 5.8% of people actually decided to follow me, which is why I gained 516,000 followers through a singular reel. And I was scared that it was a complete one-hit wonder and I was just lucky. But what happened afterwards was I actually hit multiple million plus view videos over again and again and again and again. Quite simply because I understood why that video went viral. So from now on, I could just look at all my future video ideas and video scripts and see whether they hit the requirements in order to go viral. These requirements are what I want to show you now. Now, I want to be fully transparent with you here. After watching this video, you will not have a 100% chance guarantee of going viral on every single video that you upload. But what I can promise you is that this is the exact reason why this video reached 8.9 million views. And also the reason why I was able to scale my brand to 500,000 followers and my other brand to 160,000 followers all within a year. Now, what I'm about to show you is not any technique, framework, or hashtag list. And I also won't tell you to niche down or provide value. What I'm about to show you is the exact video and the script of the video and the psychology behind every word and every phrase that I put out there in order to make my viewers do what I wanted them to do, which in this case was 1, to make my video go viral, and 2, make every 17th viewer follow me so that from that viral video, I could build an audience of 500,000 followers.
For my male audience. Welcome back, bro. What happened in the 5th last reel you watched? You couldn't remember without scrolling back, right? Now that's okay, but if you can't remember the 5th last reel you watched, is it really worth your time watching someone waste food? Now I do understand that you need social media to communicate with others, so do not delete your social media. Instead, I made this account to make the world a little more unfucked. By following me, I will remind you to close your phone and commit to yourself, while you give me more reach to help more people out of their misery.
That's it. That 35-second reel made 500,000 followers. I know this sounds insane, so let me break it down to you. You will understand after this video why it went viral, why 500,000 people followed me, everything. If you look at the script, there's actually 2 parts that are crucial. The first part is going to show you why the video went viral, and the second part is going to show you why 5.8% of people actually decided to follow me. Looking at the first part, the first line is "Welcome back, bro." That actually has no meaning. But the second line and the third line say, "What happened in the 5th last reel you watched, you couldn't remember without scrolling back." Right? Now, the goal of this hook was actually quite simple. The goal of this hook was to cause an emotion. The reason why is because that is the only thing that you're supposed to focus on when you want to go viral on short form content. In long form content, it's a bit different. You need to show proof, you need to show authority and all these things. But in short form, it's actually only about one thing and one thing only. Can you cause an emotion within people? If you watch reels or if you scroll through TikToks, every time you scroll through it, even if it's just like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 50 minutes, what happens afterwards is you feel completely fatigued, tired. Like you cannot feel anything. Even music doesn't hit that well anymore. Because whenever you scroll through Instagram or through TikTok, you don't actually scroll through videos. You scroll through emotions. That is why they make you so addicted. And you may think, what does that mean? But think about it. Whenever you scroll through reels, you'll think, oh, that's inspirational. That's motivational. That's melancholic. That causes pride. That causes hope. That makes me happy. That gives me nostalgia. Those are all emotions, a lot of emotions, and that is why you get addicted to reels. So what we did here is we gave him a rhetorical question. A rhetorical question is basically an element that is used in a lot of novels, especially in a lot of German novels. I am from Germany, so that's something that I learned in school. The goal was to make people think, oh, damn, I really don't know what happened 5 reels ago. That was like 4 minutes ago. How is that possible? And that makes people think. It makes them think about it and makes them feel guilty, maybe even a bit ashamed or sad or even surprised. And by making them feel these emotions, we make them more intrigued to watch the video until the end. Now, looking at this, you might think, oh, wait, so I just need to cause an emotion. That's easy, no? Kind of. It's really hard to cause an emotion on Instagram or on TikTok, and the reason why is because of a concept that was described by David Ogilvy. You see, David Ogilvy was one of the greatest advertisers in the world, and he said you can show the same advertisement to the same mass of people up to 7 times until that advertisement starts to lose its effect. That is because of stimuli fatigue. Whenever you watch TV with your friends or with your family, you will have seen the same advertisements over and over and over and over again, up to the point where you don't even pay attention to what's going on the TV anymore, because you know that you've seen these advertisements and you know what is going to happen. You've seen it before, you've heard it before, and you know what happens on the advertisement, which is why you don't pay attention to it anymore. That is the same on Instagram, and that is the same on YouTube, and that is the same on TikTok. If you do what everybody else does, you will be associated with these people, and stimuli fatigue will kick in with people because they know, I've seen this editing style before, I've heard these hooks before, I've seen this background before, I know what is going to happen, so I stop paying attention to the thing that is on my screen right now. And that is when people keep scrolling. That is why you need to be unique in a way. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, but you need to be unique enough in order to stand out. What I mean by that is you can take ideas that are in demand, which means ideas that went viral already, ideas that performed already, and that did very well on social media. But what you need to do is to provide it in a way that nobody else did it. Now you may think, wait, but these videos have been posted so often, like people telling you to get off a platform and this and that. Yes, today, but back then it wasn't. This was the first Instagram brand ever that told people to reduce their screen time and get off Instagram. So much so that afterwards this trend started of people telling you to reduce your screen time on Instagram. That wasn't a thing back then, which is why this went viral. I looked at other people who talked into the camera telling you, hey, this is your checkpoint, this is time where you should really get off the platform, which was talking head content. They were talking into the camera, but I thought, hey, the AI voice was performing back then. Nobody was using proper B-roll, and nobody was using the scripts that I wanted to write, which were scripts about actually focusing on your business and your self-improvement and your health and your mental health. Whilst others were just like, oh, you gotta be present and you gotta be more alive. So I thought, okay, I have a new angle, I have a different editing style, and I have a different voice that nobody uses inside this niche. Why don't I try it out? So I now had an idea that was in demand because I knew that these videos went viral way too often, but I also could provide it in a way that it was unmet before because nobody used the voice I used, the editing style I used, and the angle that I used, which is why I had an idea that was in demand, but that hasn't been met before. That is why this video went viral. And that is also the requirement that you need to look at every single time that you post a reel or a TikTok or a YouTube video before you send it out there. As I said before, I cannot promise you that this gives you a 100% chance of going viral, but what I can promise you is that it makes it much more likely, leading to my brand scaling to 500,000 followers and 160k followers on Instagram. Now, the second part is how did we make 5.8% of people, meaning every 17th viewer, actually follow me after watching the video? And this is one of the most interesting concepts ever because nobody understands it. This is the exact same concept why we were able to win the school games, why I was able to scale my clients to 100k a month, and why we were able to make so much money by selling courses and coaching for other people. I have an info agency where I scale info businesses, and this is the concept that I apply to all of the businesses that I step into and that I scale. Now imagine two scenarios. You right now get up. I'm gonna draw this. You right now get up out of your house, and out of your house you basically walk onto the street, and you walk and you walk and you walk, and whilst you walk down the street there's a man who approaches you, and this man happens to be a salesman of Rolex. He's standing in front of you with a suit and he says, hey, I really think that you should buy a Rolex. It suits you very well, it would fit your skin color, and it looks so amazing, and you're really the man who's supposed to wear a Rolex because it just gives you this type of elegance. And chances are you'll look at him and you'll think, I just wanted to go on a walk. Please just leave me alone. I don't want to spend $10,000 on a Rolex. So the chances of you buying that Rolex are actually quite low. Now, scenario 2 is a bit different. Let's say that you're in the busiest street of Monaco and you walk past a store that is actually a Rolex store. And once you walk along that store, you look at it and you see, wow, this store, it looks enticing. It looks so elegant, almost premium. And when you look in the window, because you're curious, you see a Rolex that looks amazing. It looks so amazing because it's golden and you really think it would suit you. So much so that you imagine how it would look at your wrist. So you walk into the store and you ask one of the salesmen to let you wear the watch just to look at it once. Once you sit there, you now think about buying the watch or not buying the watch. Now, in both scenarios, the chances of you buying the Rolex are not 100%. But in scenario 1, the chance of you buying that Rolex is much lower than in scenario 2. Because in the first example, somebody was trying to sell you something. But in the second example, you went shopping. People hate being sold to, but they love to go shopping. Is the concept that made multiple clients of mine millions and millions of dollars and literally built generational wealth for them just by selling a couple courses. We even had a 19-year-old who scaled to 100k a month in like 3 months because of this concept. People hate being sold to, but they love to go shopping. Basically describes that people like to make their own decisions and they like to see something and make their own decision of buying that thing because it is enticing to them. That is why human beings take action. not by selling them something. So how do we apply this here? This is also the reason why 5.8% of people decided to follow us. Now that's okay, but if you can't remember the fifth last reel you watched, is it really worth your time? Now I do understand that you need social media to communicate with others, so do not delete your social media. Instead, I made this account to make the world a little more unfucked. By following me, I will remind you to close your phone and commit to yourself while you give me more reach to help more people out of their misery. Here, we give them a lot of reason to actually follow us. We don't tell them, follow me. We say, by following me, I will remind you to close your phone and commit to yourself while you give me more reach to help more people out of their misery. We give them a reason so enticing that now they have a reason to follow us. We're actually telling them, hey, if you follow us, we will help you reduce your screen time and you will ultimately have more time to yourself. And you will help other people as well who also want to reduce their screen time and want to get out of their misery. So we have two reasons. And even before we present these two reasons, if you look at it before, we say, no, I do understand that you need social media to communicate with others, so do not delete your social media. So we're even pre-handling objections here, telling people, hey, you actually shouldn't delete your social media because you're going to download it again anyway. So there really is no other alternative except for making sure that even though you have social media, you're still able to get off the platform and focus more on yourself and have a lower screen time. And that is possible by following us. Again, we didn't tell them to follow us. We told them that by following us, they get these benefits. We didn't sell to them. We basically presented it to them and made it so enticing so that they went shopping and they clicked on the follow button. That is what you should do as well. Whether you give them a call to action to follow you, to comment something, to save your video, to like your video, or most importantly, to click on a link in the description or click on a link in your bio to buy something off you, book a call with you, get onto your landing page. All these things only happen if you make something so enticing so that ultimately they will want to buy the thing instead of selling something to them. So to sum it up, in order to make a video go viral, the idea must be in demand, but it also needs to be unmet. And whenever you have that, chances of you going viral are actually quite high. The second part, in order to make people take action, is actually to make sure that these people don't feel like being sold to because we're trying to force something upon them, but rather you give them a very good reason to take action on the thing that you want them to take action on. Now that is how one video built me a die-hard cult-like audience of 516,000 followers in no more than 2 months. Now, the reason why you're watching this video is probably not out of creative self-expression, but actually because you want to profit out of building a personal brand on Instagram or on YouTube or on TikTok. Now, if you want to build an audience from zero in 2025, I've recorded a video that basically describes everything from top to bottom as to how we grew multiple brands from 0 to 100,000, 200,000, if not 500,000 followers. If you're interested, the video is up here. And if not, I thank you for your time and I hope I could help. Bye-bye.